ultimates.
I don't know how relevant this is because it doesn't seem very likely to happen, but just a little fun interaction where if Snapfire has last word applied and then gobbles someone up, she cannot spit them back out.
Yes, that's very true, actually.
It's a lot like if Nyx is in the with the Ag Swarm, I forgot what it is, Burrow. If he's burrowed and then he gets doomed, he just literally has to sit there.
Yep. Or if you last word him actually before he burrows.
Oh,
He won't
yeah.
burrow, but he'll burrow silence.
And he'll burrow in silence. So again, not very likely to be relevant, but keep your eye out for that because it might affect the Snapfire's thought process, but probably not very likely.
Yeah.
We'll see though. Last game, we were very keen to say every time March died, oh, it's okay, he's creating space. Oh, it's okay, he's taking the gank. And for the first 8 or 9, I will completely back that up. I think after that, unfortunately, it was more just a symptom of the game slipping out of their control.
Yep. He felt very useless.
He felt very useless, and that's how he could impact the most. The most. That's how we can impact the game the most at that point, right?
Yeah.
It's, hey, the enemy team is steamrolling at us. If I'm a body in their way and can force them to stop for 5 seconds and give my PA 5 extra seconds to back up or 5 extra seconds to farm, that is the win condition. That's how he. I don't know if that's how he thinks, but to me, that's kind of how that very, very sacrificial playstyle signals to me.
Yeah, I agree with you. And in this game, I think you'll have always more options because there's also much more kill potential. Yeah. And you actually have a ganking squad of Centaur, Silencer, Phoenix, so he'll have more things to do, which is honestly important in this game.
Yeah.
Adroit is rethinking, because right now you're thinking, do I want to pick a counter to the Void? You know, do I want to pick a hero that can sustain the Chrono? There's not very many that do well. Honestly, I think the only hero that's kind of in the meta that still deals well with the Void is the Morphling. And he's not great against Phoenix. So they go for a lane counter instead. Slaughter's really good in lane against Void, and he actually provides a partner for the IO. So you're actually playing IO core. A lot of the strategy around IO core is that halfway through the game, you get a partner as well. So you have like a mid or a carry or an offlaner that can benefit from your tether, and then you go with them, and you're like a brutal ganking squad.
This is the Adroit strategy of how many supports will we pick? right now they're at 3 with the possibility of 2 being cores.
Yeah,
with the very real possibility of 2 being cores. And that's why I like the Slaughter pick here, for the reasons you mentioned, but not only because they still say, oh, maybe it's still a Wisp core. Like, that's something you have to think about here. Even if it's not a Wisp core, that's another save from Chronosphere, actually, that we've neglected to mention thus far, even though it's one of the more obvious ones in the game. But it's true. Right now we have potentially 2 saves from Chrono.
Yep, and you also have a really strong attack speed buff for the Slardar, which you can benefit from a lot. He's actually one of the few heroes that, just because of his passive, as long as you get a BKB, you don't really need any more items if you have attack speed, right? Because you just permabash someone. You actually are capable of permabashing someone relatively easily. And you can just run in, and they disturb you, and they stop you, then, well, they're wasting a bunch of stuns on your core, on your, like, tanky core, which is Slardar. And if they don't, then you're perma-stunning whoever, right? So it's really, really useful to pick the Slardar here.
Yeah, a bit about this Among Us draft, at least for me, is Cuckoo is pretty much a beast on the Centaur.
I'd say it's his best hero together with the Bat Rider, in my opinion.
Normally I would say something along the lines of, oh, it's a lot on the Centaur to get the initiation right, which is still very true this game. But it's Cuckoo. I think he can get it done. Right?
Cuckoo has been incredible on this hero.
He's been really impressing me. Even with his history on the hero, I'm still constantly fairly impressed with the way he's able to initiate. He's always finding multi-hero stomps, which is stonks, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's so efficient and can really set yourself up for a great chrono, for a good egg on top, and from there you're gonna have a full English breakfast, right? You're gonna have the eggs, you can be able to slice up Ogre for that ham, you know, it'll be great.
Yeah, he also plays really well in terms of the really playing against the line, towing the line, with this offlaner, because Sandra has enough tank that Cuckoo can kind of go in and out of engagements very often, really low on HP, you waste a bunch of your damage on Cuckoo, and he just gets away for free, and he does it a lot. Which is what he likes doing.
Interesting. Gyro is the last ban, so they suspect they're going to try and run the Wisp with something.
Well, Gyro is good against Void, so it kind of makes sense, because you actually go for the Basher build if you go Ags, and then you go extra damage item Basher, and Void has a hard time killing you. There's still a couple of heroes that can survive the Chrono if they're thinking of a carry, particularly Sven is pretty decent. Actually, TP can survive in the first minutes, but then he starts to falter once you get MKB. As I mentioned, the Morphling, but Morphling is really weak against Phoenix.
No.
I don't know, they're gonna play the Snapfire as a support then.
It
Void Spirit
looks
mid.
like it.
IO
it
carry.
looks like it, yeah.
Okay, this works, honestly. I mean, the IO carry is fine. Yeah, the Slaughter is like kind of your secondary carry, and you don't have the best thing to deal with a Void Chrono, but it's not that big a deal. There's Monster in that cup.
There is, yes, of course. I like to chill it and then put it in the cup for myself.
Yeah, he's very fancy-pantsy. Really, really.
I
elitist
pull
about
out
this
the
whole
bar
thing.
tools and I do a whole thing.
Yeah. Okay. So we see the end of the draft. We see Abed is picked here with. Sorry, Ember Spirit is picked for Abed. Oh, they're actually going to run the Sapphire mid. Good, I like this because the matchup between Void Spirit and Ember, it's definitely skill-based. Abed knows how to win this matchup. Some people even argue that it's slightly Ember favored because it's hard to cancel out Flame Guard if you go for that build, and you have a lot of kill potential. So I like that they go for the Snapfire. Snapfire is a really good matchup against the Ember Spirit. You have a really high tempo lineup for Adroit, which I guess your goal is just to stop the Egg plus Chrono to come out. Last time, I supported the high tempo matchup of Among Us. So this time I'm going to support the teamfight matchup of Among Us because clearly they proved me wrong. And this easier to execute lineup by Among Us. This time they have much, much better stuns, good setup, really good teamfight, really good 5-on-5, decent counter initiation, and okay lanes. Whereas Adroit is much more looking for the tempo for the early mid game, for those ganks. And Adroit has the chance to just run away with this game if they play really well the early to mid game stage. But if this goes a bit later, it usually will be Among Us who takes the upper hand.
Yeah, I think teamfight is really, really crucial for Among Us. I think that their draft for this time is much better. Last game, a bit more single target, and then when you get out-farmed and kind of just generally outplayed on your single target damage dealer, it can become a bit difficult here. We also have some really nice things to pair with the Chronosphere to boot, so there's still the potential for some very early engagements, which you kind of need when you go for one of these traditional support heroes in a core role. So I also still favor Among Us here for this game. I'm just not sure how the core Wisp is going to fare too late into the game. You do have a pretty good partner to run at people with Nico. That is very true, but I still have my doubts. We will get into game number 2, though. Of course, Adroit leading 1-0 thus far versus the SCA stack here of Among Us. They've just been dealt their first loss thus far here in the Summit 13 Online, presented by Monster Energy.
And it was by an open qualifier team, by the way. So it's quite, shows that Dota at the end of the day is a meritocracy. It's not about the invites, it's about what you can do when you come through the open qualifiers. Let's see if Adroit can surprise us again. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting matchup because the proposition by Adroit, I think it makes more sense. When we saw the IO lineup by Army Geniuses, which tried this as well, I didn't like as much. I think they didn't have a really clear win condition. It wasn't as stable. This one by Adroit seems much, much better, in my opinion. But Among Us still has the easier draft to execute.
Yes. I think that's what it's going to come down to. Like, I think these quote-unquote cheese picks of... I don't even consider Snapfire mid to be a cheese pick, to be honest. I'm more referring to the Wisp core. But... yeah, I think these quote-unquote cheese picks can sometimes start to suffer against these very easy-to-execute drafts. Like, you look at this Among Us draft, and this is like a classic Dota draft, right? This is like, name 5 heroes that make a Dota team, and you're like, Silencer, Ember, Centaur, Phoenix, and, Faceless Void. And if you name the 5 Adroit heroes, you're like, when was the last time you played Dota, Grandpa,
I agree. I don't know. I think, I don't know if IO would be considered cheese. He certainly has fallen off from when he started, I think, like maybe 1.5 months ago when IO carry started being a bit more relevant. It was actually IO mid that was played much more so, not necessarily IO carry, but still. But it's an interesting choice. We'll see how this works out for them. I don't think it's cheese, because it's not like a Huskar or Broodmother, but it's certainly not conventional, right? And also, an Among Us draft, it's not just that they're more conventional heroes, also that they have everything a lineup needs, right?
Yeah.
Good pickoff potential, nice team fight.
What does a
lanes.
hero truly need?
Stuns! Oh, okay. Well, that was
Stuns.
easy.
Okay. And TP scroll.
And TP scroll, stuns and TP scroll. Ideally, not at the same time.
Nah, at the same time. They don't go well together, no.
Yeah, the one advantage I do see in terms of Adroit's lanes is particularly his mid lane, where I think that the Snapfire will, especially at level 3-4, start to dominate an Ember. She can really easily take away your Flame Guard, and she deals a ridiculous amount of damage, has good lane control as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm not convinced by, though, to be honest, is going to be the Void Spirit 4. I think it's better than the Void Spirit off lane, and it's second to Void Spirit mid, obviously, but I don't know. I feel like he just needs a little bit more. He needs to be ahead if you're going to play him this aggressive style with the Yule Scepter. Otherwise, I feel like he just kind of Astral Steps in and dies, especially against a lineup like this, where they have his brother to root him down, where they have Centaur to stun him, maybe even, a Chronosphere to greet him. I think that he's just going to run into potentially a lot of problems. So hopefully he proves it wrong. Boomy's a pretty impressive 4 player, especially on some of these heroes that are usually played on the cores. We saw him on a fantastic game, frankly, last game on the Magnus. So I'm
Yeah,
really
he
looking
played
forward to what he brings here.
That is true. That is true. And CML is also very comfortable on this Ogre pick. It really suits the style of Super Sacrificial 5. If I talk about CML, they want to kill Cuckoo, but nice spirits there by Zephyr, giving him enough space to just get away, essentially. And Ogre is strong in the lane, but Ogre...
March is going to get bashed, though, in the meantime. But, they actually get... I
Wow.
think he was probably dead regardless, but in your dream with that double proc on the bash is definitely going to make it a bit easier. First blood bonus, though, unfortunately for them, going the way of Adroit.
Yeah, and since the shared bounty at the end is not that bad, I thought it was going to be much worse for Nico, but committing to that kill to get the first blood, to also get the extra experience, and then you get a kind of divided gold for Void. The only advantage for In Your Dream here is that he got the experience solo, which is quite nice, but I don't think Slaughter's too worried. It's interesting that Boomy is cutting the lane here and also getting his own farm, right? So they're actually separating the lanes in two aspects.
Interesting. Yeah, you've got a point. I was wondering where the second hero was, and when I saw everyone disappeared off the map, I was like, is he under the tower? And caught the first blood there. But
I think that they also acknowledge, though, that the Slaughter has such a good lane matchup against the Void that you're kind of not too worried about it. What a nice prediction there to get In Your Dream. Can they get a second bash? They can. I think he has no time walk. He could be in trouble, by the way. Slithering Crush is ready. 10 seconds to the time walk. In Your Dream wants to bash, but he doesn't. He can't. He's too slow.
What a play.
What a play by Boomy, dude. That was a great Aether Remnant.
That really was amazing, actually. I'm not going to lie.
My God.
Macy's getting bullied by this Phoenix, though, already underneath the tower. And will be continuing to burn up a bit. Actually, out of regen, so I mean, you got the Fairy Fire, but you're out of any real regen that's not just the burst. And this top lane is just absolutely bullying them right now.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I think IO is much more dependent on the experience, to be honest, rather than farm, because you don't have too expensive items. And you farm rather quickly with the spirits, to be honest, because you can actually force them all to explode in a jungle creep camp, like a stack, or even in a lane, and you like flash farm with that.
When,
so it's not too bad.
When the spirits are I think you need to get to level 4 spirits first, though.
Yes,
before you can make them
to
explode.
actually burst. Yeah.
Yep.
No, they explode at all points. It's just that.
Oh yeah, they explode when they expire. That's right. I'm a fool.
Exactly.
But
level 4, they actually deal the damage as you.
Yeah, and then you can farm more efficiently with them as well because you have less downtime on the explosions. Blah blah blah. Sorry, I was thinking. I was like, no, they always explode. You're right. But I think real quick, just on the Boomy kill, and him getting actually a little bit of farm as he's now going to begin rotating around the map. That might be a kill onto Phoenix.
I like that Zephyr didn't even like wait. He was like, nah, I'm out of here. There's no way I'm baiting you out for this play because he knew they were chasing after him. But they might still dive this tower.
Yes.
They actually have the capability. Zephyr has no mana right now. There's the Fire Blast. That's up for the Remnant. Cuckoo tries to block it, but he fails to do so. Nice stomp afterwards. Cuckoo might still die. The Ignite is on him. He's really slow. Io joins in, and the TP, maybe a bit too late. March, are you coming in to die? No, they're on the tier 1 tower. They want to retreat.
Yeah.
But still, double kill for the Adroit. This is exactly what we wanted for them. This is a perfect lanes.
This is great, and of course they can afford to do this, right? Because Nico does have such a fantastic lane matchup versus In Your Dream. As they will actually TP Zephyr over in trees. I think he's just going to go and rotate up for the bounty rune. But real quick, before they start fighting again, I can finish my point. Boomy getting a few kills, Boomy getting a little bit of farm on his own. Sure, he's only 4-4, but he's 2-0-1. That's really good, because that addresses my points, the issue I have with the Boomy Void Spirit 4, where this is a hero that's kind of all gas, no breaks, and if he's playing from behind, it's going to feel awful, much like a Disruptor.
It's true. I think experience when you're a 4 is a bit more important, but I agree that getting those kills, especially for the extra gold, to get an early Yule sector, right? Because you really only need one item.
It's all about that Yules.
Yeah, sometimes of the 4s will actually rush in Ags as well, because obviously you can't afford to go for both as easily. And either is fine, really, but whatever first item you get is all you need.
Well,
Cuckoo?
They're partying again top lane for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Remnant is ready.
There's a really good Arcane Curse, though, onto 3, so this is going to be a bit costly for them. March might even be able to get a kill in return as Cuckoo landing a 2-man stomp with the stick charges. Actually, should keep him alive. Macy needs to get those spirits out, but unfortunately, there's a cooldown on actually toggling them over. It's not how it used to be, so he's not going to have that ready in time. Was expecting, maybe they didn't calculate the stick charges, rather.
Yeah, MCY did not do, I don't think, too great on the spirits. I think he could have, I'm not really sure if he did full radius there, but he pulled them back a bit earlier. Maybe he thought they were going to be more aggressively. Nico, though, in the bottom lane, he's completely alone, so you have to be a bit more careful. Even if you do win this lane against In Your Dream, you can't get killed when your supports can't rotate.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that the Phoenix... mid lane.
Middle lane, Abed. He's trying with the Flame Guard. He's going to kill his brother at this rate. He tries to burst him down with the Spirit, but Boomy is playing around this. CML has no mana for the stun right now. 1 more second. There he gets a stun. Boomy has avoided them, and they're not going to get the counter kill here, but they also save Boomy's life, so it's not too bad.
Meantime, Cuckoo, now that he actually is able to 1v1 the Wisp, is going to have a pretty decent time pushing. He's got the catapult doing some serious damage. And, well, my point is now, no, Jeffers going back. But it's important to have the Phoenix here, right? Because the Phoenix tends to max, at least on the supports, the Fire Spirits to actually, you know, for the damage, but also for the attack speed slow. It's not insignificant to note here on the Slaughter, because that's really why his matchup is so good versus the Faceless Void, isn't it? Because of the bashes that you get, Bash of the Deep now being on every 4. And if they come a lot slower, that's a big reduction in your DPS, and maybe that can allow earlier levels of the longer cooldowns of Time Walk to actually live. Although now it's down to 12 seconds, and he will be probably putting a point in Chrono here. They might be able to get a kill onto him if he's too aggressive.
Nah, I think Nico understands now. Once you see the 6 on the Void, you put Corrosive Haze, and you kind of wait him. You wait for it to see if he jumps you, and then you punish him if he jumps you. But if he doesn't, whatever, right? You leave it be. Because it's not like Void can trade easily with the lane. Because as you mentioned, Void's stuns, of course, are not predicted. You don't know when it's going to happen. So you just kind of hit him and hope that it's going to time walk him. Whereas Nico can just have one ready for you, which is really annoying as a Void.
March might be dead here. Yeah. Actually, I don't know. It's not a... It's position 4 Void Spirit, but if they try and... Oh, big rotations actually coming through into the trees. They actually have the ward there, so trying to maybe bait here.
Nice. Snapfire.
Yeah, Mac laying down the kisses there with the vision. Maybe looking for one more as In Your Dream, forced to run through the globs. He's going to be slowed a bit, so there shouldn't be any more kill attempts. And Mac right back over to the mid lane to not lose on any farm. They are going to try maybe for the Centaur, but I think that's going to be a bit too difficult. No multicast available for CML. Abed? Oh, actually, he got juked. Boomy. He baited him there with the cookie, actually, to save him. He baited him with the Dissemblate as Abed actually threw the Remnant uphill. Yeah. Trying to predict that.
Not bad, actually. You are saving yourself from some of the aggression that Adroit does. After all, this is normal. Adroit should be getting aggressive early. And Among Us should just be responding, right? So it's not too big a deal as long as you don't lose too many people. It's all about you playing defensive.
Kuku's really getting bullied up here, though. I mean, he's going to have to be forced to leave the lane. And it's kind of strange because he should be the person playing the dead lane. He's not even level 6 yet, though, so he can't really afford to be playing too aggressively as he's going to have to rely on that Stampede to really be playing a little bit aggressive at this point. But even when the creep is close to his tower, he's totally getting bodied by all the magic damage coming his way.
Right now, it's not really your priority, though, to farm on Kuku. Unfortunately, he has to be the sacrificial lamb here because you really need farm on both the Ember and the Void. And they're doing well, though. If you stop the net worth for a second, you actually see that the Void already has... he's actually leading in net worth, Ember is second. So even with all these kills, it's still an advantage for Among Us. And now they're trying to push this mid tower. Boomy joins. He's kind of stuck with the steering chains. A lot of damage from Sunray. Only level 1, though. Honestly, the worst level 1 in the game, I think, is Sunray. You want the level 2 as early as possible because it doubles the damage, essentially.
Interesting. Worst level 1 in the game. That's interesting.
I would say, honestly. A lot of pros agree. That's why a lot of pros actually ignored Sunray. But now, because Sunray is so useful, you actually get it as soon as possible to try to max it.
I don't know. Worst level 1 in the game. That's really...
It's just really awful.
No, I totally agree with you, especially as a Phoenix player.
Now that they changed it to magical, by the way, not when it was pure, but now that they changed it to magical, because a lot of it just gets wasted in the natural magic resistance heroes.
That was great.
Level 2 is great though.
Back when it used to be a laser beam. Yeah, I mean, especially because the problem is with Phoenix, you kind of rely on either a slow or some help for your +1 to actually get a good Sunray. Because early on, it's really weak, and early on in terms of its channel, right? It gets a little stronger later, but it's so weak level 1 because you don't usually have a slow to pair it with. You don't have anything else there. But that's a good point. I don't know what the worst level 1 in the game would be. That's very good.
I mean, there are a lot of contenders to be honest.
I'm thinking like Nick stun level 1 is pretty bad.
Nah, but it's still a stun. Any stun cannot be a contender. It has to be a damaging spell, to be honest. Like, a damaging spell doesn't deal enough damage.
Oh no.
The Shadow Ward might be up there, to be honest, but it's a heal.
Oh no, he's okay. Macy's gonna live.
Yeah, he has the regen aura from Satyr Tormentor, of course, and that heals both of them, so it actually doubles the healing. So you're actually realistically getting like 16 out of this. Abed, careful. Abed. I don't know. He has a remnant there.
My bad.
I was expecting some sort of stun from the Slaughter, but he can't really
top.
catch up.
I mean, nice spacing here for Boomy and CML as you excuse my poorly drawn circle. That's about what a Chrono looks like, more or less, you know? It is purple, though. And, In Your Dream maybe looking to turn. They have to be careful, though. They still have the Supernova. Well, there it is. Abed running in. That's a free kill there onto the Ogre, as Boomy will now retreat. But the rest of the team, they're looking for the counterplay here, Avo.
Yeah, they have a bash ready on the Slaughter. Goes in, immediate bash in your dream. Now the Slithering Crush keeps him in place a bit too long, but they cancel the Snapfire ultimate with the Global Silence. And your dream is forced to use Chrono. He still has time walk now in 2 seconds, but the Chrono actually guarantees the kill on Boomy, and they get away with a free kill here, not actually accomplishing anything on Adroit's side. So well played. Very good counter initiation by Among Us.
That Cookie needed to come out a bit faster. In case you're not aware, the way Cookie works is that it applies the stun when you land, or if you get dispelled, or if you can no longer move, it applies the stun immediately, which is very useful to counter both people stuck in Chrono and people stuck in a lasso. But unfortunately, the cast range is pretty bad on Cookie, so Snapfire not the most mobile of heroes, so that's just unfortunate. But it's just Boomy. It's just a position 4 for the Chronosphere, but still a kill nonetheless, as they will be looking for revenge onto Cuckoo. And even if they miss the 8th Remnant, he's going to get the kill regardless.
Not a bad little counter kill down in the bottom lane, but just because of how well that top engagement went, especially with Void getting a kill on top of that, I don't know, it's not enough to really make up for it. Especially because Adroit needs to be kind of winning right now. This should be their timing with the Helm of the Dominator. And MCY is actually going to be rushing the Ags this game. And I say rushing because usually you see IOs delay the Ags as perhaps a 3rd item because you want it with a level 20.
Yes.
Without the extra spirits damage is not as powerful. It's still good though. It's still good. Like it's a nice little point of inflection, but not as strong as level 20.
Definitely.
MCY in trouble in your dream joining in, but nah, it's an IO. You're not going to kill it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad because you have the spirits maxed anyway, right? So it's not like, oh, the spirits aren't maxed and you have the Ags. It's whatever, right? But it's still going to be pretty. It's going to be meh until that 20 talent comes through. Especially because this game, actually, I don't know. Is Cuckoo going to be going for a pipe? Not immediately. He doesn't even have a headdress, so he doesn't feel like it's that big of a factor yet. And, you know, not to mention he kind of didn't have a fun time, so he's going to have to recover here a little bit. It's still only 13 minutes in, so I think I'm being a bit rough on him. But
yeah, Blink
we'll
is
see
more
what
important.
we'll see what he
Unfortunately,
goes for.
when you are a Centaur and you lose the lane, or you don't lose the lane necessarily, but you don't have the best laning phase, right? Not getting Blink puts you in a really difficult position because then all of a sudden you can only initiate with Stampede, right?
Yeah.
Blink opens up your game, and you know you're not going to lose the next 10 minutes, right? So you can just build a pipe right afterwards. Blink gives you more variability.
Yeah, especially because pipe is so expensive, especially from the hood.
CML in trouble at top lane. They could have gotten the IO, so CML actually tanks the gank here, and he's pretty happy with this. But March gets extra intelligence. This is the first bit of intelligence he gets this game, so
+2.
he finally got into preschool here, March.
Yeah, not bad. I actually didn't really pay attention to how much intelligence he had last game. It was more just about how much he was dying. I mean, I hate to. It sounds mean, right? But I guess
no
it
way
is.
around it, mate.
Nico, nice 2-man in stun though, following up the global silence there to cancel the cookies. That means they're going to be very easily able to get the kill onto him. Now Abed running forward. He doesn't even have a stampede, or did he? Not sure. You didn't hear it. As now, oh, the Phoenix though, he's going to actually get caught by the cookie, and now the Scatterblast to nuke him down. March running for his life. She might be able to escape as Macy forced to tether on back respectively. Boomy actually managing to get the kill onto March. He's going to have to pay for that one. Play the blood price, but overall, Among Us only lose their 2 supports in exchange for the 2 supports and the offlaner. And they're not done quite yet, actually, as Abed getting stunned by the cookie for a bit. Mac looking to try and fight here, though. He's going to be forced back. Stick charge is utilized. He has the regen rune, but that's going to be that, I think. He's pulled them off that tier 1 tower for a bit. It's probably still going to go down here, but it's a good fight for Among Us right there.
I don't know. I think that Among Us, March right now is playing much better, I would say, the last game. But it's also easier for him because he just has to wait for the Snapfire ultimate. He's really not using Global Silence for anything else, and that's the right play, honestly. And Snap is quite limited until she gets that Axe, because right now she's only... There we go. The Axe is finally there. Pretty good timing, but you really need to rush it this game, because until then, Mortimer's Kiss is useless, right? So this way you actually have another way to initiate.
Oh, no. Oh, thank God Macy dodged that. He might have died, and that would have been... delayed the Axe by maybe another minute or something.
He left the Foreman behind, though.
What
are you going to do? 200 free gold for Abed is no joke.
The Foreman's like, the Union will be hearing about this.
Well, he's dead, right? So he doesn't really get to do much. It's like the Irishman. You don't really get to say much if you're dead.
Oh, you know what? I never saw that movie.
It's about your city as well. It's a wonderful movie.
It's Chicago?
Yeah, it's a Chicago Union. So actually, yeah. I would argue it's Scorsese's best film.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good film.
Well, maybe I'll give it a
watch.
It's
long
just
ago.
so long, you know. We're working BTS.
I watched it in three rounds, though, to be honest.
What? This is like 3.5 hours, right?
Yeah, that's why. So I watched an hour a day.
Well, now we're going to watch Nico die in the river, it looks like, as he's going to get completely chain stunned up. Down he goes.
Okay, the game is really going in favor of Among Us right now because you're getting all of these counter kills, which shouldn't be happening, by the way. Adroit a bit out of position. Oh, Max
gobble
shoots
up.
the IO with the Spirit Bomb. Global Silence used, and he relocates in time, but the Chrono comes out with the Supernova. They catch Mac, the perfect target. Supernova will finish around the Chrono, and Mac is going to get stunned, guaranteeing perhaps a secondary kill on CML, who gets the Fire Blast off up behind them. Boomy's trying to create space for their cores, goes for Abed. Abed is about to die to Boomy, but no, no Fraticide today as MCY tries to go for the kill, accomplishes it, but the sake of his own life perhaps, as Zephyr body blocks him. CML gives him some space, but Kuku's having none of this with a nice two-man stomp.
Oh, but
Counter initiation by Nico. This fight is complete chaos, and we're not really sure who's winning just yet. March is about to die to Nico, but CML might also fall. Finally, Nico gets the kill on March. CML dies to In Your Dream, and it's a 3-4-2 in the end.
I don't think it's
with
over yet.
Nico trying to continue this, though. MCY, he does have overcharge in a second, but he loses the tether. Nico's left alone, and without the tether, he's not going to survive. Among Us gets another kill here, and that turns it in their favor completely.
Yeah, I think that was a 6 for...
What's
5.
six?
5.
Who died? What do you mean 6? Yeah, 5 for
Nico died twice.
Yeah. 5 for Adroit. Sorry, 5 deaths for Adroit,
Yeah,
or 5 kills for Among Us, and 2 I think for 2 deaths for Among Us.
Yeah. My goodness. I mean, how do you even break that one down? I think it's this is kind of the weakness, right, of the Wisp Bag's second item, is that really the damage isn't quite there yet. In fact, it used to be on the 15. He's not even there yet. So I think that was a little bit too aggressive, especially on a target like the Ember Spirit, who has the Flame Guard to neglect a little bit of that starting damage, right?
Agreed. Yeah.
So I think maybe it's the right idea, but it's onto the wrong target. And I think Adroit, they really then begin to suffer from that, as they're going to be fighting some more here. Kisses raining down onto Cuckoo, as they will locate him. And March as well, actually getting a little bit of love from the Grandma, as he will now drop at least Arcane Curse before he goes, of spite.
No. Boomy, though, could be in trouble as his brother comes in and guarantees this kill. Mac looking for the counter initiation. CML, nice positioning. And they might just find him, but no, they're all a bit too quick. CML, you're slow on that cast point, my friend. You're just an ogre. He charged like 3 times on like 2 targets. Neither of them were
Dude,
targets.
Abed is such a gamer. Let me tell you the reason he lives there, right?
He has 6 fingers.
He has 6 fingers, but also your remnants move out. I think it's like twice your movement speed, right? Which is why if you're slowed by...
It's 250%.
Yeah, okay, so a little bit more than your movement speed, or twice your movement speed then. But either way, he actually activates his phase boots right before he tosses out his remnants, just to make sure the ogre cannot reach him twice. That's incredible.
Here, you want to know a little extra bit on top of that? Phase boots also now completely take away your turn rate, right?
Yep.
So when you're actually throwing away, it actually was turning when he was throwing those remnants, try to, play with an ogre and put the spirits all over the place. Those phase boots also helped in that regard. So it's like a duality, right? You're right. He's a completely good play.
That was insane. I was wondering, I was like, wow, CML, really? He didn't get the first one. Didn't get the second one. I was like, wow, that's unlucky. I was going to criticize him for not doing that and instead not taking the quote-unquote easy kill on the Phoenix, right? At least the easy stun. But I can't really criticize that. I think that's just Abed simply being good.
No, I think it was the right play to try to go for the Ember. Because honestly, if you get the Phoenix there, it's like, sure, whatever.
Yeah,
if you get the Ember there, it's huge, right? So going for the risky play there, especially when you are the faster tempo team, is the right play, I think, by CML. But Abed's just too good, right?
Yeah.
CML now finding Cuckoo, but a difficult kill to get. And Nico says, yeah, we're not killing him. But it's clearly Nico, because CML bloodlust him. It's like, go! Nico's like, nah, we're leaving. We're out of here, but...
All right, a nice smoke play here out from the side of Among Us. See what they can find.
Okay, this smoke is a bit of a... Oh, it's a bait smoke, actually, this time. I wonder. I was wondering what that smoke was, because you don't have vision of the enemy team, so clearly you were not going anywhere, and it's a bit too early for Hail Mary smoke, so it was just supposed to be a bait. Finding Boomy instead, he steals the bounty rune, and he just walks away.
Yep. There's a DD rune, though, so they maybe want to go for Roche now, and they will.
Nice. Okay, right next to Roche by the lucky DD rune. They don't have any minus armor, but the DD and Avoid.
And the MKB now, actually. This is the new MKB, and it will not be scouted, actually. I don't think they know about the MKB yet. Which
I don't know that remnant song.
Yeah, I don't... Oh, but now...
Sardar? He blinks away. They just wanted a projectile to send in. And they're just disturbing this Roshan. They completed that Mortimer's Kisses. No global science to stop it, so it means they still have the global science to fight. They also preserve the Chrono and the Supernova, so the fight's completely in Among Us' favor right now. Unless you can see a great play by Adroit. Haha, look at Abed, no fear. There we go. The Chrono set up with the Global Science, Supernova as well, and Io is immediately decimated. Adroit don't even want to fight this. They're like, all right, you used both your ultimates. Actually, 3 of your ultimates, even Stampede as well,
Yeah,
so 4 technically.
Yeah, I'm not so sure, Avo. I think they're going to try and maybe go for something else. They feel like they deserve something after seeing all the ultimates used. And look at that, actually. There goes Nico in with the gobble up. He's going to get eaten and yeeted right into the fight, but now he's in a bit of trouble. Buybacks here from 2 Wisp. We're already relocating right back into this fight, as In Your Dream actually getting caught by the Aether Remnant. He's going to be actually killed. Nice job, Boomy. Silencer buys back, but he doesn't have the global silence anymore to be of immediate use. As Abed instead, he's just going to continue farming here at some camps. Nico is going to be effective in scaring him off. And I think they're going to try and turn this into a Roche play with the Wisp TPing now to the outpost. Whoa, nicely done. They need to get this. They will get this Aegis. All right, wow. Nice job there by Adroit utilizing the buybacks.
Yeah, they played that really well because they understood that their buyback is 10 times more valuable than Among Us buyback because, well, Wisp can relocate in, right?
Yep.
Which Among Us didn't have the ability to do.
Oh, the
Slardar again. Okay,
Yeah.
Nico finds March. Yeah, they want to eliminate March a second time. Goodbye to March. They also stop Cuckoo, and this poor Centaur's been stunned forever. He cannot last. This little to no armor means he falls quickly. Adroit takes 2 quick kills, very effective, and they're pretty much using that gobble up as like an ultimate, really. Who cares if they cancel your Mortimer's Kisses? You still got gobble up and a giant fish flying right at your face.
That's a dieback as well on March, which, you know, it's whatever. Again, he's position 5. You know, he doesn't have the ulti yet anyway, so it's whatever. He's not going to be of immediate use. But yeah, I mean, he decides to buy back, but as you mentioned, Wisp is one of the very few cores that the buyback is incredibly powerful on, even more so than it normally is, once you consider how game-breaking that is in a MOBA as a core principle of Dota 2, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, together with Spectre and Nature's Prophet, right? These are the heroes.
Spectre, Nature's Prophet, to some degree, the Storm, the Ember even, potentially. In very rare circumstances, a Puck, right? Maybe even a Weaver.
Play. Yeah,
maybe a Weaver as well. Some very, very use case. But with the Wisp, it's free.
The top 3 are Spectre, Wisp, and Nature's Prophet.
That's the highest tier for sure. But yeah, I mean, you can see that already that is much more effective. As there's another gobble up just to get someone a bit closer. They're going to maybe try and catch Abed here. Boomy in the trees, needs the Yule Scepters. He will find it. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to actually continue sending him up. As yeah, Mac TPing to the tier 3 tower for the shorter TP is not going to be able to close the gap in time for a cookie.
No, it's well played, honestly, by Adroit. I think even forcing out the Ember is fine here. You don't really commit that much to it, so it's okay. You have another gobble up play potential here as Nico's farming. Nico is quite confident in this game, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. He actually used the Corrosive Haze there so he could push a bit quicker, but more importantly, because now he has the bash prepared for the next initiation. In fact, that's what Nico's been doing really well that I've been surprised by, right? Every single initiation, after the gobble up, he always had the bash of the deep prepared. He didn't have to charge it up, so he's actually always planning around that, which might seem simple, but making sure that you're always ready to fight is not that easy. Oh, Nico could surprise Abed here. Guesses perfectly. Nice Slithering Crush together with a bash, but is there any follow-up? Abed, here comes CML.
Oh my
but
God.
that's a nice searing chains, giving him the space needed to get away.
That DD, oh my goodness. I made this joke yesterday, but I'll make it again in case you weren't here. It's the Slaughter cosmetic is the real shit thing. With his minus armor, real shit, and he just almost 3-shot him there. That was incredible.
You actually can't tell the DD is on him really well.
Yeah, it's actually...
Pay to win, mate.
Yeah, you can't even see.
Yep. Yeah. So let's see. They're thinking about an initiation. We have another bash ready. Always Nico, but they're under a ward. CML should have guessed. They even put a sentry down. Yeah, courier to deward. They go in regardless. They saw him. Doesn't matter. Cuckoo could be in trouble, but he's the tank. So it's not the easiest to kill. And Adroit has to reposition this fight. Do they still want to go in? It's a bit dangerous. They'll settle for the tower.
They're pulling a page from Tim's here. Maybe, I don't know if they're going to go for 5 Holy Lockets this game. I don't think they're in that position here. But we do have at least 1 Holy Locket now on Phoenix. So the heals from Sun right now that it's max are pretty insane.
Okay. Another smoke here by Adroit. What are you planning? Yeah, that's Holy Lockets. I love that. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I like how you were like, okay, well, they're going to go for a second Holy Locket. All right, now Sand Kings will need a Holy Locket.
Yeah, it's a meme now, right? Centaur in trouble. They get him with the Aether Remnant, and Cuckoo's down. This is a pretty important kill, because it's kind of hard to kill the tank if the enemies are nearby, but not like this.
Just walked past the courier that had the BKB recipe on it for the Wisp. He maybe just didn't decide it was worth killing. Oh my God, In Your Dream, hello. VACs in chat, please, as they have just relocated directly onto In Your Dream and just nuked him down from orbit. Whew.
Okay, well played there. I mean, you're getting a lot of counter kills that you shouldn't really be getting, I would argue. Honestly, Among Us kind of farming alone against a lineup that has really, really good mobility and really good single target pickoff potential. So maybe not the best plays. I mean, Void, I guess, was in his safest place, right? But he was quite far, right?
Hopefully.
And Ayo's very fast. Oh? Abed? I don't know.
Yeah,
Abed has been able to get away every single time, though. It's March instead, who's an easier target. Scatter blast to the face, then March was good though.
Yep, indeed. I was still looking over at Abed. Good patience there from Boomy. He's like, nah, it's not worth committing the Astral Scepter. I might die. I need these defensively. Didn't even touch the Yule Scepter. He knows that that's only realistically a kill if he has the Yules into the Aether Remnant combo, which he didn't. He's not letting this opportunity up because Among Us, they could very very potentially even be 2-0'd here. This is a great play. I gotta say, before the series started, based on the performance yesterday, I wasn't really convinced by Adroit, but this is much better from them here. I mean, they're leagues ahead in my opinion of how they played yesterday, even though they did still got the 2-0. We'll see here. Is BKB coming soon as well to our Slardar. We have Io now with his own BKB. Clumsy Net on Ogre, which is value, because of course you can multicast that. And it doesn't extend the self-root or anything like that. Void Spirit going for the Ags, but he's a bit far off as he will break a smoke here potentially. And ooh, the Dissemblate out in time means he is going to be able to live here. My goodness. Just the game sense, the knowledge. That man knows. The Spidey senses were tingling there. Avo, hope we lost you?
No, I'm
Oh, okay.
the game. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Is that point of the game where it's Among Us kind of repositioning or rethinking what they want to do? So they're starting to try to regain the map control that they kind of lost. They're banding together a bit more, trying to secure a farm for the Void in a much safer way. Because until now, In Your Dream was playing really aggressively. And Adroit is quite the opposite. They're going, all right, guys, the game is starting to break into 5v5. How do we get pickoffs still? I'm going to see here as Boomy attempts to do so in the mid lane, but of course has to leave immediately.
Yeah, it's a bit hard. Self-Heal Scepter buying a lot of time. Here's Nico again, baiting with the DD, and this time though Abed does well not to get caught by the Slithering Crush. As we'll be farming a few tier 3 neutral items. Plenty of tier 3 neutral items actually. Mindbreaker for both sides. Over Destruction is a nice one as well. Let's see what they want to go for as Adroit. They are going to be beginning to push this top tier 2, so only the mid tier 2 left standing in terms of outer towers for Among Us currently, as they will be looking to mirror the movements of Adroit, but the Fortify is going to make it a little bit scary. They've got a very nice ward here, scouting for any potential rotations, but they're not going to catch anyone there. Instead, the scan is going to find 2, and there you go. Breaking the smoke very nicely is Cuckoo. Great position from Cuckoo. Great read. Yep.
On point, and this also, if he broke the smoke and they were closer to him, he would just tank the gank for his Void and he would leave, which was still a fine play, right? So it was a well thought out idea.
The Courier
Dream continues to push. No.
Oh, is the Ogre going to kill the Courier? No, it's probably going to be
Boomy, of course. It doesn't really matter who kills the Courier, though. I don't know why they decided that Boomy had to reveal himself, but whatever. They destroy the bottom tower, not the most important one, but this means that you can start camping the enemy triangle pretty effectively. This is the only reason why. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. I'm sure. Yes, Kip.
Rip.
Thank you, mate. If your handwriting is that of a 5-year-old child,
Yeah,
but
well,
the triangle breaks, and the only thing they really would like to take now is the tier 2 mid to completely take over this idea. They can also take over the enemy jungle because they broke. Sorry, they can also regain their own jungle, because the enemy team actually has lost the bottom part of the map.
Big power spike alert. Wisp has hit level 20, so keep your eyes on those balls when he starts flinging them around in the next team fight, because they're going to be hurting quite a bit more. We might
always do, sir.
We might end up scuffling here right around the 30-minute mark for bounties. We'll see. Among Us have kind of just set up camp here in this sort of bottom jungle area, generally speaking, especially now that the tower's down. They've got a ward up. They have not really felt too comfortable in leaving. They will at least reclaim the outpost to make sure they get that 550 experience here. But, Telescope's pretty darn good here for the Wisp. Greater Fairy Fire.
For the Wisp?
Yeah.
I mean, it's better if you give it to the Ogre, to be honest, or something like that, or the Snapfire, or whatever, or someone that doesn't need a neutral. Because there's no aura anyway, right? So
Fair.
I don't really like it on the Wisp too much. It doesn't amplify the spirits, you know that, right? So
the cast range on the spirits?
No, because spirits aren't on cast range.
No, fair.
Yeah, it's only for targeted spells. Yeah.
For the tether, it's kind of nice. But for relocate, it's so good.
Exactly. You actually can relocate to the last game.
You could relocate to the next game for once.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Just one time though, and then
You just-
that would actually be so cool if we
It'd
could
be
break the
so
time-space continuum with Dota, and
There
someone could
was,
just relocate in your game.
There's a Steam game called 5D Chess with time travel and
yes,
alternate
yes.
universes, which is the most confusing game I think I've ever seen.
It's very hard to play. I've played a couple rounds. I suck at chess, and at 5D chess, it's even
Yeah.
worse.
We should play versus Winter. Frickin' GM. IGM.
Nah, I mean, he's
think.
just gonna insult me the whole way. I don't want to do that.
Well, it's like casting with him.
Exactly. Acronyms is gonna be the next item for Boomy. Oh no, never mind. I think he's missing one item. He's missing 1,000 gold. Oh no, he got it. He almost got it. That's pretty good. So he's gonna have Aghanim's and Yule Scepter done for a position 4 Void Spirit. Not bad. You're gonna have another bout of counter initiation. Nico, of course, had to sacrifice his farm a bit so that Boomy could pick up those items, but I think it's worth it in this game. It's very much like how Secret plays, and they go, you're support, right? And like, I thought I was an offlaner, and Yaps was like, no, who said that?
I don't think so, sir.
Huh?
Give me this creep wave.
Yes.
Yeah,
And Zai always obliges.
we don't really have the items on Abed. I think he's just going to be lacking the farm currently. But it's okay because he's an Ember Spirit. So he has tanky teammates. They have higher priority targets here on the side of Adroit to dispatch up first. And Ember Spirit loves long extended fights, right? Because he can continue poking and prodding, especially with Daedalus. That is going to really help him out. I'm sorry, Daedalus. Maelstrom. I keep confusing my, was it Nordic hammers and items? Actually, I believe the Maelstrom is Greek, if I'm not mistaken. You know what's weird? A Maelstrom, which is Greek, ends up upgrading into the Nordic Mjolnir. How's that work?
From Greek?
Yeah, I think Maelstrom is Greek.
How so? Strom, isn't that the Nordic word?
I don't know.
A powerful whirlpool in the sea or a river. That does not sound...
Well, I don't know. They did have, the Mediterranean Sea. They are fighting here, though, near the river, where that Maelstrom could be very powerful, as instead Kuku just tanking so much. But there we go now. Nico popping off. He's found In Your Dream. The Global Science to try and interrupt this one is going to do a pretty darn good job. But look how big this slaughter is. Nico just trying to man fight here, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to do it. Abed gets 2 times multi-casted shot by the Ogre as the Gobble Up is not able to catch anyone there with the creep, and instead In Your Dream ends up with 2 kills there. Nice Global Science, only utilizing 2 ultis there, this time from Among Us. Big difference compared to the last Roche fight. So this time they are going to be easily able to take this Roshan fight.
It's Dutch, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Maelstrom.
PIL.
That's cool. Today I learned.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
still,
that's
it's
why
the
you listen to our cast, right? You learn history, you learn Dota, you watch great Dota.
I mean, this is a great Dota game, though, to be certain.
It is.
I mean, it is a little bit surprising, though, how they upgraded Dutch then into Nordic. Right?
Yeah, that's what you do though. That is literally a true upgrade though. That's historically accurate. 1k lead only for Adroit anymore. Ayo's still incredibly farmed, so he's quite happy with this. He just got the Heart to Rask. I think Ayo's one of the few heroes that still builds Heart reliably and is good.
Actually, I would say the new Heart is much better for him compared to the old Heart.
Much like
Especially
it's really good on off-lane heroes as well, but not so
Yep.
good on carries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in case you're confused, new Heart now just continues healing, whereas the old Heart had a cooldown of, I think, 3 and 5 seconds on melee and range heroes, respectively, for like a combat cooldown.
Well, no, it can also get disabled. It's just there's a regen amplification for the new Heart, which gets disabled, as opposed to the 1% or the 2% max regen, right? So what happens is that for a lot of like carries, right, since they don't already carry a lot of regen, it's not really useful because even if it gets enabled, you have 50% extra passive health regeneration. Who cares, right? Whereas the old Heart just gave you the passive percentage regen, which is so much more important, and was higher, of course. That's the point. It was like 4 or 5%. I remember.
Yeah,
which is why it's better now on offlaners than it is on carries.
I think it was actually quote unquote only 3%, but it just gave you so much raw HP that it was still an insane
I
amount.
mean, it was 3 times, right? So it's still ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they changed it a couple times as well, so it gave you more strength, which is obviously better for most offlaners. So that's why that's why you'll actually see a lot of like PL, Spectre, people who used to buy Heart now buy Scotty instead.
Yeah.
It's also better.
Well, I really enjoy the buffs to Scotty. In Your Dream looked like he was going to Chrono here, but he doesn't really need to kill CML. As instead he's going to turn and face his doom. Down he goes. As we will now have the Satanic over on the side of Faceless Void. So in Your Dream, he's now gotten a +2 items here since we've last really seen him. So he is definitely still incredibly farmed, actually now finally overtaking Mac for that 2nd position in terms of net worth. It's still Abed that's a little behind the 8 ball though, but he is still now with the Maelstrom catching up quite nicely indeed.
And Ember's usually the secondary carry anyway, so it's not that
Yes.
big a deal. If he's a little less farmed, he can actually do really well with just the right items, and depending on the game, it's just about how you build them, rather, right? And this game, I think he built them quite correctly. Maelstrom for a bit of extra damage, the drums as a transitional build, and the BKB just to ensure that you can continue surviving the team fights. And Adroit, it's looking tougher for them as this goes late. It's not like Io's actually that bad late, to be honest. That level 25 talent's really useful.
Abed?
But
Is he-
oh,
Okay, he's okay.
Okay, not
They
enough.
don't have enough, yeah, for him.
and Nico had the Mindbreaker, which sucks because you actually stack that with a bash. So maybe it would have been better if you actually now initiate with like 2 charges of bash at the deep, right?
Yeah.
And then you silence first, and you use that silence to get the second bash, and you amplify it, but it's still really good.
They're going to go bottom now. Let me just check here. I'm curious now if we're going to see the level 25 talent from Max take the 3 times multi-shot on the little shredder with the Wisp 25 talents
Oh,
of
yeah, he
attack
did do
allies
the-
target to do for machine gun, for multi-machine gun Wisp. Because Wisp is also a strength hero. These are 2 strength heroes, right?
Nice.
So they actually have very serious right-click damage
Yeah, with the heart, of course.
with the heart.
And strength heroes actually are because agility is so OP. If you have a really high agility gain on a carry, that's just too strong. So usually the strength carries as a nicer strength gain
Mhm.
for the most part. But these two don't particularly, though. Unfortunately, the Snapfire can turn into a pseudo carry towards the late game, and I like that he's using this. It's honestly also true that the extra Mortimer's Kiss is not that useful against a silencer, right? Because it's always going to get cancelled anyway. So who cares?
Uh-oh. Someone's about to get enveloped, and they instead are taking the bait here onto Boomy as he will break their smokes. He will be scouted, however. Nice jump in by Cuckoo. That'll secure his fate here. Does have the Yule Scepter. Stampede committed here. Maybe they're expecting more, but they actually kind of need it just to be able to catch him. Boomy not able to TP out. Abed just
Up top.
coming in
Up top.
time.
Mac is
Yeah.
in trouble. He gets killed by the Chrono, but MCY is here to help. But in your dreams, like, yeah, sure, you want to fight me? No problem. They actually just got the Leveler as well for Among Us, which is huge. One of Void's best items. Paladin Sword super OP, so I don't know if they want to actually change it, but especially when you're pushing towers, it's going to help you a lot to kind of start closing this game out.
Yeah, now we finally have that Lotus up and running too for Centaur, in addition to the full pipe, so great defensive items here. Up 2k finally here for Among Us, which is going to be, well, not the biggest lead they've had, but they are slowly sloping towards that lead in their favor. Experience as well in their favor after a while where it wasn't. Solid 10, maybe even 15 minutes there. Now they're feeling pretty confident now, pushing high ground. Aegis is going to expire in 10 seconds though, so keep that in mind as we might just be looking to fight here.
Yeah, we have Aegis, as you mentioned, expiring, but we still have Satanic and BKB. They try to calculate this Aegis expiration perfectly, but they don't, unfortunately. There's the Mortimer's Kisses, the Global Signs to stop him, but Cuckoo's still in trouble, and look how fast Nico's hitting. The guy's a bit too strong, tries to stop Abed, but takes a second too long to use a Slithering Crush. Instead now chasing after Cuckoo, Meteor Hammer first, and now going and destroying the Phoenix. They have a lot of team fight. There comes the Snapfire, enough to destroy the Supernova. Abed also falls. It's in your dream, he's being surrounded. What are you gonna do, Void, against 5? Your team is already dead. It's only a silencer helping you. March falls as well, and in your dream, what? They actually gave him space so he could TP? No way!
Nico just crushes. Whoops! My bad, guys. That arcane
Why'd they
curse
let him do
preventing-
that?
Arcane curse preventing the blink.
Interesting. I thought they would just keep hitting him, right? Maybe they were calculating the time block and they didn't want to lose damage.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Wow. Okay, first of all, Wisp actually ended up getting all 4 kills in there. Look at the damage he did in that fight. 10,000 damage.
Jesus Christ.
At first, I was like, he's not doing any damage. He's not doing any damage. And then
It's
the pipe.
the orbs. It's the balls.
And then the pipe ended, right? He's now got that level 25, attacks ally Tether's target, which we saw Nico attacking. First of all, they all started trying to go for Nico, but MCY is just too strong. He activated that Satanic, only using one of the greater fairy fires there, which is going to be amplified 1.4 times when healed over to the Slardar, in addition to the heart, just constantly healing. Satanic on top of that. I mean, how do you kill that Nico?
Seriously, though, and we talked about this earlier in the draft, right? All you need for Slaughter is a bit of attack speed and a BKB. And you saw how powerful he was. I mean, he has less net worth than your supports, right? He has less net worth, like barely, than Boomy. He's actually matched the Phoenix. Did not care. Made quick scrambled eggs to the Phoenix, destroyed the Ember Spirit. Centaur didn't stand a chance. Like, the bash is just too strong, man. Too strong.
That was ridiculous to watch. They need to kill Wisp, which is easier said than done.
Yeah, because he has 4k HP.
But they need to kill the Wisp. Yeah, he's got
Also-
4,400 HP. And it's
Look-
Satanic.
That's what I was about to say. He has Satanic now. Like, if you thought killing him was hard before, Satanic plus the Heart to Rask, which actually sacrifice the strength that it gives you, so you even have this extra bit of regen from Satanic on top of the lifesteal. It's absurd, this game. I don't know how you beat him. And he also has the attack tethered allies target with the Snapfire or even the Slaughter, honestly. A lot of extra damage with that, and healing.
Yeah, that's a scary moment there for Among Us, that's for sure.
Maybe the late game is not as good for Among Us as I expected.
Well, I think it becomes quote-unquote okay if they have Chrono there, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But because then you at least stop the tether from attacking, or sorry, well, the Wisp from attacking and Nico from attacking, which is really the problem there.
What do you think, though? Is it possible to kill him within the Chrono? The IO?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's dead in Chrono for sure.
Okay.
Sunray is so good. We don't have a Pipe
That's
of
true.
Insight on the team, right? Because Sunray is percentage-based damage, so that will boom, boom, boom. He is just going to be melting to that. In addition to that, they have just In Your Dream. I mean, he's no wimp either. The problem is just he's no wimp. He is a little wimpy, and he just has that bad matchup naturally versus the Slardar, right? Because he can't really attack and do his thing. But I'm telling you, a Sunray in a Chrono and that Wisp is a piece of cake. What we really could use, though, is an Eye of Scotty on In Your Dream. I think that is going to really make it a lot easier, because Scotty, not only does it reduce all of your heals and all your healing received, but it also reduces your self-healing, which is really going to be a big issue here against the Wisp. We don't have an Urn or a Vessel on anyone. Instead, Jeffer has decided to go instead for the Holy Locket, which is totally fine, but we don't have any minus healing, which against a Wisp is a bit of an issue.
Yeah, I agree. You could have maybe opted for Shivas on Cuckoo as well in this game, or even on Zephyr.
Of course, Shivas now gives you the 25% healing degen,
which is not as good as Scotty or Vessel, but it's still pretty decent. 25% to 40, right?
Bad, yeah.
And then you get Scotty, because of course those things do stack, because they're an Aura versus Scotty.
They stack additively.
No, multiplicatively.
Really? Healing degen?
Yeah, it's multiplicative, not additive. So otherwise, imagine you could do 100%. You could even do minus healing regen, right? Imagine how OP that would be.
Well, I mean, I thought you used to be able to do that on no, because they reworked Veno before they got rid of his regen. Anyway,
you wouldn't get. I mean, you got damage from poison stick, but you didn't get minus regen. It's very similar to like when you reduce magic resistance, right? Like it reduces multiplicatively. It's still really good, but it's not as OP as it would be if it was additive. Imagine that 65% reduction. That'd be ridiculous. Let's see if they build him though, because I'm honestly looking for some sort of regen reduction. Otherwise, the IO is just going to keep tanking up. Honestly, build a second heart. I'm not even joking. Like, build a second heart and get rid of your magic stick. What else do you even need?
I could see maybe a case for like a Mjolnir on the Wisp.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a good idea as well. Or even MKB.
Even maybe a Deso. It sounds a little stupid, but why not? If you're going to be attacking everyone with the 3 times, actually, what did we take?
With the
we did take it. I mean, that's value, right?
Yeah.
That
is value.
Minus
I like the
Armor
Mjolnir better, though. Maybe Dezo if you want to push towers, though. But
Yeah.
I like the Mjolnir better.
Nico on the prowl. So in they go. They have managed to silence one. In Your Dream looking to fight. Nico, though, connecting onto 2. Big stomp there, but now the Stampede and the Global Science both utilized here. Abed looking for the kill onto at least his older brother, the Void Spirit, but he's not even going to be able to find him now as Nico arms up in the air. He tries to get the Slytherin Crush in, but it's not going to matter. VK beat up his In Your Dream. Now Abed looking again back for his brother. Gets the net, the root rather, onto the Wisp as in comes now the Supernova. Great stuff. And now the Chronosphere on top, but we need the Sunray, IO. We need the Sunrays. They are actually be able to heal him up or prevent the physical damage from coming through. Now the Sunray, and look at his HP drop. Mac unable to save him in time. Has the gobble up. BKB looking to try and run away, but now the buyback out from those Wisp as Nico running back in. Boomy still alive. Look at the multi-shot. Look at the multi-shot. They just melted In Your Dream. Wisp immediately back in the fight. March, he is going to get gobbled, eaten and yeeted as CML as Boomy is still alive in this fight, assisting onto the kill there onto the Phoenix. What a ridiculous fight that was out from Wisp. Whew.
Wow, that was incredible. That was incredible. I can't believe they actually turned that team fight around just based on, well, the multi-shot, really. And I was wondering what was happening by Mac, because he actually stopped like fighting halfway through, and he just did nothing for a solid 3 seconds during the chrono. And I think he was just trying to reposition, maybe gobble up with like a surprise blink dagger. But it was really well played by the Ember as well. Abed decided to...
Oh my god.
Searing Chains.
Look at Roche. Roche is like, what is this?
Oh yeah, he just bursted immediately. You get Ags as well, which Slardar can take. Very nice. Yeah, that's really good Ags as well. Nico realized here that without the IO, honestly, he's paper. But with the Ags, it's going to help a huge amount. They actually go bottom lane to just push towers quickly. Yeah.
There. Yeah, like, put me
Try
in
to
code.
cheese. Not going to work here. But honestly, you're not going to leave Mac behind. Just deal as much damage as you can and back. Oh, Mac actually swallows him. What? Oh my goodness!
Well,
I don't know you could do that. Yeah, that's genius.
that's balanced.
That's balanced. Yeah. Why do you don't need to relocate back if you have Mac.
All right, well played. Fairly gobble up. It just works like that. And your bottom lane of barracks has been deleted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Now they can continue further. They're not wasting any buybacks though. Void is coming back with 50 seconds to the chrono.
We don't have chrono. This is so bad.
And it's not looking too good right now for Among Us as Mac continues to push these racks down. They're just trying to defend and gain some time, but like look at the tickles that Albert does to MCY. And he still has Aegis, by the way. You can never tell where he's looking, but he's always looking at your death.
Yeah, he's looking forward to killing you, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. In your dream, careful. Oh no!
My God.
Immediately killed! He just got like severed from reality. The Sun Ray does deal a fair amount of damage, but still, Void disintegrated there.
Look at this. It's actually surprisingly, most of the damage is actually coming from the Snapfire. She did take the little shredder, uses your attack damage, so that'll be why. I think it's just because the Wisp projectiles move a lot slower. Cuckoo waiting in the wings. He's going to find the stun onto only one. And now Macy turning with the Satanic active. BKB's all around. CML in the meantime getting nuked down by one, but we still don't have... Oh, we do have the Chronosphere, but he's going to get stunned up. Chrono now onto 3 heroes. Where's the Phoenix, though? Dead. We don't have the Sunray. They will be at least able to kill Nico. Abe trying to do as much damage as he can, but now the Wisp alive. The E-Blade, though, is not going to save the life. Now Macy in some serious trouble. He no longer has the Snapfire as he will be killed only once, though. Mac
run for the tether.
Back. He needs to get back. Oh, no, the bash. Rooted instantly. Boomy now is running in as Mac actually has returned here already back in with the boots of travel deleted. Everyone is just dead now. The supernova is going to drop as Macy trying to still live, but they actually have the damage to kill him. That's a dieback onto him, and now a dieback onto Mac. Boomy trying to escape with his life, but Abed running him down. 2 diebacks there already as Among Us. It took just about everything they had, but they are able to hold out.
My
And Abed now he's doing damage.
Yes, Abed is doing damage. So is In Your Dream, which actually decimated them there. And Zephyr, as always, really useful. Let's not forget, this is one of the fights where you actually had the Sunray during Supernova, and you saw how impactful that was. The percentage damage against an IO with 4.8k HP is absurd, and they didn't really have time to really destroy the egg, unfortunately. Okay, Boomy's trying to cut the lane, trying to get in some time because they have no buybacks on anyone, but Boomy is going to die as a result, or maybe not. Assimilate? Boomy, you madman. There's no way you get away.
Abed's going to chase. He's going to try, but he's going to realize he's getting his time wasted. Even with
the
eggs,
older brother, right?
He needs those remnants very badly. CML at the same time pushing this top lane. They're doing exactly what they need to do. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Avo though, 70 seconds without a Wisp and a Mac.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just going to rush down mid, I think.
Remember. I mean, by the way, everyone has bought back in the game, so we'll just switch over to net worth just to see how ridiculous this game is. I think this is it.
Yeah, I think this might be it. I don't know if Adroit can defend this. Is CML and Boomy. What can the supports do? This is the time to show your metal supports. You might be disregarded as the most useless position in late game, but CML can still do something as Ghost Scepter and Glimmer Cape. Let's go, CML.
Nico's back in 5. The multicast on the tower is kind of wrecking them here.
They forced the Void Spirit, or sorry, the Centaur back. That's not enough. Nico.
Oh, the Satanic.
Against In Your Dream. Global Science not good enough, and the Mask of Madness is working. He's perma-stunning In Your Dream, and he can continue to fight him, but Nico couldn't slither in Quest a second time. Now he's stuck. He does have cheese, though. He does have the cheese. He's just gaining some more time. Io's back in 20 seconds. But the fish is already destroyed, and CML follows through. Boomy alone is now creating some time. The Supernova's committed. Boomy is trying to distract them, but they're not getting distracted. They go for the Ancient and take the game. Among Us will win game number 2 after a very arduous and long game.
What a great game of Dota, honestly, that we just saw. This is why SEA is, I think, in my opinion, is one of the best regions to watch right now. It's so fun. You have so many clever teams here. Adroit now, putting their hat in the ring for going for some really fun picks along with the side of Neon Esports. But Among Us, they pull it out. Just a fantastic team fight top overall, and they managed to I don't want to say come back, but they managed to overcome what was the machine gun of death that Mac and Macy were.
It was very well played, I think, by Among Us. I wouldn't know. I'm reticent to call it a comeback because, yes, Adroit were winning, but it's not like Among Us ever felt like they were completely losing, right? So they're kind of even for the most part of the game, but Adroit played amazingly. Like, they showed why this strat is so strong. They came up with a really creative strat, and it worked wonders. We spoke about how great the Slaughter combo was, and they showed us it was true. They had a very clear idea in mind, and very well played by them. But Among Us, their consistency also has to be celebrated. They played the team fights incredibly well, and to me, the MVP was really this Phoenix and his Sunray position.
Look
absolutely incredible.
Look at Adroit. If you toggle over to net worth and XP graphs, look at how big that disadvantage was, actually. Among Us, they were down over 20K.
Oh, it's true, actually. Yeah, well, towards the end, though, when it matters less, but you're right, yes, that was quite the big lead. That was the big team fight, right, when Adroit kind of smashed them twice in a row. But then, you know, Among Us managed to make it back. Honestly, this Phoenix was so impactful. Can I see the damage? Yeah, damage dealt to Phoenix was pretty incredible for a Phoenix. 27K, bigger than March, bigger than Kuko by a long shot. But it was Abed, actually, towards the end that was dealing the big hits.
Yeah, he was getting in plenty of damage, but a fantastic game overall, and it's going to be our first tied series here in the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13 online. You guys are currently watching us, SeekNStrike and Avo Plus on the call. Do stick around, guys. That's only our first match of the day, if you would believe it, as we have still 3 more excellent series coming your way. Up next, stick around for TNC versus Army Geniuses. See you then.